Hello, everyone. I'm Dmytro. I'm CEO of Hacken, and we actually are going to talk today about how to become a crypto hunter. And first of all, thanks for inviting me. I'm happy to share our experience and what we actually do. And if you have any extra questions, don't hesitate to ping me in social media or via Telegram, wherever you prefer to use. So first of all, a little bit who is Hacken and why we can actually share our experience. Yes, so it's all about whether we can or not. So of course, it's about Hacken itself. So Hacken itself, it's crowdsourced security provider. So we have experience in many stuff, but of course, major business is bug bounty, and we operate on the market over 8 years. So we work with famous companies like Ethereum Foundation, OKX, NEAR, MetaMask, Polygon, Sui, some banks, government, and etc. So it's not only Web3, but since actually we're talking about how to find issue in Web3, let's talk about our clients in Web3 sphere. So as you see, all these companies, some of them is smart contracts, some of them is protocol, some of them actually have mobile and web application, and etc. So direction itself quite different. And of course, they pay different money for bug bounty. So about Hacken also, we have the biggest actually community of security researchers. Yeah, we paid out $22 million to researchers so far. And of course, we have one of the largest vulnerability database that actually allows us also to interact with some new models for AI that we personally develop and etc. And of course, help companies to like understand issue, fix them, and actually get a good triage from our side. Of course, we currently have more than 200 bug bounty programs where each security researcher actually can earn money. Yeah, and before we start moving, I would like to highlight also that these numbers, yeah, it was like updated, for example, 2 months ago. Yeah, so we have even right now more security researchers, we have more validated reports, because Web3, especially Web3 plus AI, they actually give lots of opportunities. And I would like you to use these opportunities for yourself and, of course, earn money. So my agenda for today is where can a bug hunter earn in 2026? Flashbacks from 2022, and I will explain later why I choose exactly this year. Of course, what changed by 2026 so far? Main challenges for Web3 and for newcomers. Because like if you just try to step into this domain, you should understand what is happening. Of course, who is ethical hacker? Yeah, and so far you see it's equal to rules, and we will talk about this later. Of course, roadmap for this year. So skills, tools, first steps that probably you will need or you want to hear to become actually a hunter. And of course, since I know my company and of course I know platform, I can give advice from our side. Some of this advice can actually be used can be used for other providers as well. Probably let's start from how it looks like on Hacken and who is hunter. So there are several actually names how we call or how market or community calls themselves. Hunter, security researchers, white hats, and etc. And but meaning the same. Yes, someone who actually have skills or someone who actually just found some issue and want to submit about this issue to company to earn money. You might see that some platforms or some companies, they can actually have vulnerability disclosure program, which actually doesn't pay money to security researchers, yeah. But bug bounty itself means that company are willing to pay for a specific programs. On a screen, you actually see some an example of a program and how it might looks like. Of course, we update this data every day. We have some new programs. So if you visit your dashboard, so this is exactly how looks like opportunity page on Hacken Proof for hackers. Yes, and you can actually save favorite programs. You can see numbers, you can read rules, you can choose category, you can choose project type, and many other stuff regarding a program. And of course, as you see, you can also choose language and etc. Yeah, so even if you a new one and you're not developer, you still can choose domain on direction where you can at least try to learn something new, and I will give advice regarding this as well. Let's move forward. So where actually the hunters can earn in 2026. So of course, bug bounty platforms, yeah, and you can actually hunt on live projects and get money per funding. So each program has severity. Yes, severity is actually how some issue is valid or important. So it might be low, medium, high, or criticals. Sometimes you can actually see extra critical or something like this. But on a market, commonly we have just 4 severity levels. And also you can earn money in crowdsource audits, or we call them contest audit. So crowdsource audit is something that you can actually find on the platform as well in a specific section. It's some kind of audit done by community. It's limited by time. So Hacken Proof has section crowdsource audit. You can visit them and you can find when audit started and when actually it finishes. So you can participate in such kind of audit and earn money in this contest. The interesting point here is that, let's say if crowdsource audit cost 20K and you found only low issue, but no one else found other issues, you will get the whole spot of 20K. Of course, there are different like types of crowdsource audits, yeah, conditional and etc. But traditional crowdsource audits, this is exactly how it works. You get the whole reward pool. Curated private audits, invite only. So that actually means that someone can participate in private audits, even bug bounty, but usually audits on a Hacken Proof, and earn like a salary. And here to participate, of course, you need to gain some experience, you need to gain some reputation points on our platform, but also you can be invited to such kind of job. On the screen, you also see some rewards just done this year. So as you see, 1 million, half million, and etc. So, and it's not guys who just on the market for years. It's just someone who decided that they will become a bug hunters this year or last year, and they got some results, good results. Let's move forward. So as I mentioned, as an example, yeah, but OKX is our client, of course. You can navigate to page of program and you can actually submit report, but before you need to read some rules. Yeah, something in scope, some focus area, some actually disclosure guidelines. It's very important that when you hunt, you need to understand what the rules behind. Because even if you found valid issue, but you broke rules, you actually probably will not get money, unfortunately. But that's reality, that's rules. And of course, you see duration if it exists, you see rewards, everything here as an example. So if you would like to visit Hacken Proof and see real numbers, please welcome. But let's actually start talking about bug hunting. So every time when we had some crisis, we got opportunities. And this is exactly what I want to mention. I do believe currently we have some kind of crisis on the market. And for you, it's a really right time to start bug hunting. And let's actually take a look at 2022. And because this is exactly where we saw some crisis on the market, and we saw those opportunities for many security researchers. And of course, at those time, we had an article on how to become a hunter, and I just would like to remind what we wrote about this. Yeah. So first of all, 4 years ago, we actually like advise security researchers, yeah, or newcomers to start experience with coding. It really was important to understand what and how it works. Second, it's blockchain. Yes, Ethereum is one of the most promised network so far, and at those time, lots of opportunities for Ethereum-based projects. So of course, we advise everyone to learn more about Ethereum. Another, we saw many audits and opportunities in Solidity. At those time, we of course advise to go deeply with Solidity, and there was some resources which need to read and etc. But that's still the biggest language in terms of smart contracts on the market. And of course, we advise to start experience with Hacken smart contracts. And there were lots of cases and opportunities on the market, different CTFs, so capture the flag, yeah, real cases with smart contracts. Of course, at those time we advise to learn some standards. And this is something where you could start 4 years ago. Now you could understand even more languages and see more opportunities, yeah. But no worries, you still have a good chance. So also I would like to mention then in those time, due to chain analysis data, yeah, 3.8 billion were stolen in Web3. Yeah, this is the biggest year in terms of stolen money. And you might actually think that this year we have more hacks and etc. Yeah, we have more hacks, but less in stolen money. Okay, in order to start bug hunting, you have to understand the nature of issue. And I would like to compare the nature of issue 4 years ago and right now to understand where to focus you on a bug hunting. So first of all, access control. Yeah, missing permission. It was the biggest category in terms of hacks. Then actually business logic errors, still very important domain. Yes, so check about such kind of issue. Then actually you can see another category like Oracle manipulation, signature validation, etc. And this still flash loans is very important category on the market. And of course, some governance attacks. And currently, if you search in 2026, they still exist. And biggest hacks in 2022 was breaches. Since actually companies try to build bridge between different and network between different smart contracts and etc. And that's where everyone was trying to do it fast, be the first one. And of course, security was priority. They understood the risk, but of course, lots of hacks around. And you can see numbers on the screen. Yeah, it's quite big, quite big. And just key insights before we move in nowadays, that the biggest losses didn't come from clear solidity bugs. Yeah, because you might think that, okay, I need to understand smart contracts. I never will become a good bug hunter in Sensor because I hate, let's say, development. But as you see, there are lots of logic stuff and etc. where you don't need to be a developer. Yeah, you need to understand some principles. And of course, infrastructure, private keys, bridges, multi-sigs, and etc. Let's move forward. So here we are, 2026. Time goes very fast. So just in half of this year, in numbers, we already have 270 incidents on the market, 3 times more than in 2022 generally. And you actually can see that lots of incidents, yeah. But at the same time, we lost less than in 2022. So more attacks, smaller losses. And where actually money goes in 2026? So first of all, 76% of stolen money is private keys, custody, and signature. Yeah. So here, as you see, no smart contracts. That means that you still, if you have or you don't like some part of direction in bug bounty, you still can be very good hacker in terms of opportunities. Yeah. Of course, we have another domain. It's North Korea group. And here you can be a good defender. So if you still understand principles, you understand main issue in the market, maybe you can start as a defender and then learn more on how to bug hunt and help others. Yeah. So get experience and expose this experience to other companies. And just to understand, I will mention another chain and languages, but most targeted chains in Web3 nowadays is still Ethereum, and because it's the biggest one, BNB chain, Base, and Arbitrum. Okay, of course we have AI factor, and it's huge factor. Yeah, so AI powered attacks almost 5 times more, and of course deepfake video, voice calls, and lots of other things. So it's also not smart contracts. Of course, they might involve smart contract itself to do some operation, but lots of other things just to connect wallet and your money gone. So these principles is also important to understand. So you need to read story, understand, even in order to not be scammed by someone else. It's very important. The main words here, like trust but verify. Okay. So here, as I mentioned, not as you see, last numbers was in April. So main screen is also from April, and numbers is much more higher for the community. So nowadays, for example, we paid out 26 millions already to security researchers. Yeah, and we have more than 90,000 validated reports, and etc. But I would like to highlight that due to AI, you see how many reports appear on Hacken. We started 9 years ago. That is why you see here 2018, yes. And there was like some companies, they got reports monthly, but still nowadays we have, of course, more customers, but at the same time, we have right now more than 10,000 per month reports. And I would like to highlight that these reports even restricted. So if you let everyone to submit reports, you can multiply 5 times. This is important to show you in order to understand how competitive market right now for you. That is why it's very important to choose domain where you would like to be the best. So today challenges for Web3 companies. in order to understand why you need to choose some domain specifically. So AI helps black hats, bad actors, wherever you call them, find potential gaps faster. That's reality. And they actually choose where to beat, and they actually all the time try to find gaps there and find and exploit. Also, companies must ship faster than ever. Because, like, let's say you CISO of the company or developer. So before you had some responsibilities. Now you need to integrate AI, automate, but also you have more reports. You need to fix them. So you work more. AI doesn't help you. It just try to help you to survive in this house so far. Also, one security person is no longer enough. Yeah, and we see this also from our experience. So when you start hacking, you have to understand that companies are busy very right now. And maybe for you as a for hunter, it's easy to find issue with AI, but for them it's harder to fix everything because they have more even right now. And SLI actually can delay. SLA is actually time during which they committed to do something like review, give review, sorry, reply to you, or actually paid and etc. Okay, and today we also have to mention about challenges for new bug hunters, newcomers. It's you. So we have flood of duplicates. Everyone is using AI. So if you use AI and submit reports, you have to understand, yeah, of course, you can verify by several AI because like never trust one source. So you can check by several sources that this issue is valid. But when you submit, maybe already someone did this because they faster, because they with experience. Of course, with critical issue, when you learn how to find them, it will be less duplicates, but for low, medium, it's very often that this issue is already well known. Because companies also, they scanning issue, they have backlog, and they start to develop and change this. Also, companies, they have pressure of AI generated reports, and they delete or they pause programs. Not they don't want to pay, not because they don't want to pay, they actually just need a time to fix. Sometimes because of pressure, they just want to forget about bug bounty and just focus on the business. Of course, you can mention, hey, but they have a security teams, it's actually their goal, and you're right. But how many companies in the world have like several security engineers in a team? Not many. And signal to noise ratio. So first of all, lots of reports. Of course, there is a triage, but you have to understand, no one on the market can validate your reports in 100%. Only developers who is a part of a company and a project. So if triage team a part of company, of course they can do it fast and they can validate fully. But if you interact with bug bounty platforms, they can validate, but even for 99%, but those 1%, they still need to approve with the customers. That's important to you to understand, to not feel that someone like don't want to speak with you or don't reply. Okay, they also need time. Another challenges, of course, due to AI, it's a business. I mean, bug bounty platforms is business, yes, and they also have to give a good quality business services, and they try to implement restriction due to AI, and of course, it's influenced you as a new commerce. hunters as well. So you can find that many companies implement paid submissions. So you need to pay some fee. For example, a Hacken Proof is mostly $5 or $7, but at some other platforms it may be even 200 and more. And when the issue costs, I don't know, $50, it sounds very ridiculous. But generally, this high paid submission for criticals. Yeah. So that is why that means companies want to focus only on the criticals where they pay millions. Of course, reputation points. Yeah. So at our platform, for example, in order to submit into specific programs, you need to have reputation points like 50, 100, 150. Depends on your experience and etc. So you have actually a table that explains how you earn reputation points and how you lose if you, for example, break rules. Of course, some new hackers like to stay anonymous, but mostly 90% already everyone require KYC. Also, not at our platform, but I saw on other paid support tiers. So you need to pay monthly to get support. Of course, as I mentioned, SLA. So need more time to review because of noise. And actually, some platforms even restrict newcomers from submitting at all. So before choosing platforms, please check this. And just to highlight, at Hack Proof, we welcome every newcomers. Come to Discord. This is where our community exists. Ask questions, open tickets, discuss, and you can even write me personally. Easy. So let's move forward. How to start actually in this AI noise. So first of all, it's very important. I ask you to be very concentrated here. It's about rules. So read the program rules. So if you actually was focusing on finding issue and you found issue, but it's out of scope, probably in 99% you will not get rewards at all. So that's very important. Something might be in scope, something temporary out of scope, something actually is coming, and etc. But still, if you need to submit because like it's something important, you can come to Bug Bounty platform community support and discuss this question. And they will help you to negotiate or even get some reputation points. That's also important. It's about your experience. So even you found something is valid, you can get feedback. Also, prepare your report with maximum evidence. Of course, right now with AI, you can ask them to clearly like prepare evidence and etc. Even if you live in a specific country and you have some I don't know, I would say maybe some misunderstanding of how to explain some stuff, yeah, in English or etc. So AI helps you a lot. So that is why take a look what kind of stuff some submission form require and try to prepare as much as possible well written evidence. Also, never use found vulnerability against the company. Never. Because that's not ethical hacker. If you exploit something, you black hacker. And nowadays, easy to find you. And of course, that actually might influence your life. And you will have some probably legally problem and etc. Yeah. This is first. Second, there are some companies and programs that allows you to exploit and keep money and then back 90% etc. But it's very, very not common approach on the market. And usually this approach apply only when money was stolen and they asked you back. Okay, so if you ethical hackers, don't use it. Never. Also, never share your report with other in social media, in some community, or actually don't discuss publicly and don't mention company publicly, because you actually going to break rules. And then even if your report valid, but company mentions that you probably will not get rewards because you broke rules, that's a true. You will not get money for your work, just to understand. And also, uh, you will lose your uh, respect and many other stuff at the beginning of your way. Another stuff, don't abuse AI generated reports, because you will be banned. Because you might decide that, okay, one day I will become cool hacker, I will generate 100 reports and submit to any platforms, but they will simply block you. They will see that you knew one, they will understand that you do this with AI a lot, and the goal just to submit as many reports and get rewards. But mostly in all cases, you will be just banned and you will not be able to submit reports. Yes, so this is your way, start it and finish it. Of course, as I mentioned, everyone needs some kind of mentor, and triage team is your mentor. You have to listen to them. They give feedback. They on your side. They they don't try to be on side of company or own side. No, they actually on your side because you newcomer, and they try to help you to learn, because you will become a community member. That's important to understand. The community member understand rules, understand some things, and also it's a way how you can understand your mistakes. Because I mentioned, even if AI says you that something is right, triage team can explain why not, based on experience, based on open data sets. You also have to understand that many AI tools, they can generally say about something, but each platform has own data sets, own actually valid and structured issue, and they understand better with developers of company their code. And as I mentioned, don't don't actually negatively talk about platform or actually company, because at the beginning of your way it also brings neither money nor reputation for you. um, why it's important? Because professionals always get opportunities. So first of all, positive review on Hack and Proof profile, for example, invitation to interviews, invitation to private audits. You can post articles at Hack and Proof. It's very respectful domain, and you in this way actually can post for free, and you can actually write something. Of course, we help you to proofread and etc, and see that this article is important. Then you can actually share this while looking for a job, while actually communicating with companies and etc. So professionals always get opportunities. What actually to learn in 2026? So still solidity. Why? Because like we still see lots of smart contracts and audits and bug bounty and cross audits with these languages. Why? Because lots of open source code, examples, and etc. easy to implement, less problems and etc. Yes, so for especially for new businesses. I also would like to mention Rust and Move. We is the biggest crowdsourced security provider for Rust and Move, so we cover 90% of the market in the world. And here we see the highest rewards of recent years in ecosystems. So here it's new languages, it's new smart contracts, and many other stuff. So still missed like well-review coding, etc. So that is why you have more opportunities, but hard to learn, yeah, because like less resources regarding this. Also, DAML. I would like to highlight just DAML, not because it's special in some way. Each language is special, yeah, but this is a new language right now that's actually, for example, Canton network has, and you, if you experience in this language, you will have more opportunities. You might be even in a niche that still is empty. And of course, Web 2 stacks. You need to understand them, because like, let's take a look at exchanges, wallets, and etc. It's Web 2. They have a mobile application, they have a website. Of course, they on a blockchain, but issue and bugs they actually pay for is traditional Web 2 stuff. So that is why if you, and they also pay very good money for that. Where to practice? So first of all, lots of information on the market, and with AI it's even easier to learn something and find. Yes, you can type, let's say, in a cloud, in ChatGPT, etc., in Grok, and say, hey, find me recent disclosed bugs regarding to Solidity or etc. So easy to find. That's very important. In my times, I have to read some books, I have to search, I have to ask someone, and etc. So you can learn from real reports that disclose it, especially if you go to crowdsourced security audits. You can find lots of opened and disclosed reports. And for example, we have dual defense audits, it's also crowdsourced audits. And if we found, community found critical issue, we disclose them as soon as issue was fixed by company. So you can actually take a look at real critical issue, not even low or high or medium, yeah, real criticals. Also security challenges. We had actually, and probably still live challenges at Hacksabox. That's why I mentioned them. Really good platform. So you can find necessary security challenges on the Hacksabox and also try to challenge them. Courses. You can navigate to our documentation. There are lots of courses and educational materials. So visit, please, take a look, ask if you need something. We all the time update them. So that is why I don't mention here, like, 20, 30 courses. Follow newcomers blogs. I like this topic. When someone is starting and they say, hey, I'm going to have 100-day challenges regarding bug bounty. Like day one, I woke up, I do this. Second day, really like such stories. And this is also will help you to be concentrated. And read Hacken Proof blog. As I mentioned, many new researchers and also team members and hackers, they actually like write articles, we validate them. So there's real stories, real cases, real stuff, even from companies, where you can get more information. Tools. So regarding tools, I mentioned here ChatGPT and Claude, but you can actually find even more. And there are lots of even AI auditing tools or AI hunters, yeah, who actually now open source. So you can easily find more than 30, and you can use them, see their data sets, explore, etc. So I do believe here is very important to choose domain and goal, because like this is a house and you need to understand where to move. Of course, researcher tools, it's not the full list, but something that we advise. So please take a look, check, and try to use. VC code extension, and we also building right now VC code extension from Hacken Proof. It will help you to understand something. But if you try to experience this code, or you developer who actually would like to become a hunter, very important to understand how it works. Okay, now actually just a few slides more to understand how to start on Hacken Pro. And you can actually choose same approach on other platforms. So register your hacker profile. You have a link, you visit platform, you fill in data, and now you in account. Nothing to deposit, nothing to verify, you in a profile, and then you can actually start exploring opportunities. Of course, some programs will need reputation points, some will need KYC, but also there are lots of programs where you can easily start hacking. Of course, when you complete some profile, you will earn some reputation points, which allows you also to start working on other programs as well. Also, explore programs. I was showing at the beginning of this presentation, where you can actually filter by favorite stack, save those programs, and back when you're ready. Of course, when you took a look at some program, you read actually rules, and you found issue, you can actually submit report. If it's your first report, collect feedback from triage team, ask, and etc., and then try again. Maybe even if submit report is not valid, triage will help you to say, hey, just try to keep going, but in another way. And of course, it's not necessary, but here you can get free support, you have community, you have different interaction. So we welcome you to join our Discord community and network with us and with others. How actually to submit a winning report? It's very important. Everyone is start by hunting to earn money, of course. So as I mentioned, read the program rules and SLA once again. It's very important. Even if you read something, you took some time to find the issue, then you back, check if nothing changed. Because nowadays with AI, they can actually make some scope, like targets out of scope. They can change SLAs, they can change everything. Okay, so it's very important. Read one more time. Of course, if you submit a report, you will fix rules, SLA, and everything, and triage and company will follow this fixed rule and SLA. Also, choose the correct target and category. It's very important because, like, the way how you specific in a report is very important, and also for triage team and for company, it allows them faster review your report. Same with severity level. As I mentioned, there are 4 types, which is low, medium, high, and critical. There are also, if you don't understand which level it is, there are integrated stuff where you can choose points, and they will help you to calculate what level of severity you actually have. Of course, clear title is very important. And you need to describe vulnerability in details. It's very important as well. Give some extra details if you believe that someone misunderstand you. And there are validation steps. So you explain details, but also you need to explain how to reproduce your issue without exploiting. It's very important. And attach evidence, screenshots, logs, and etc. Resources to stay up to date. It's very important because everyone doing their stuff, their business, at the same time, they try to help you to be focused on something. So Rec News is about hacked companies, some hack reports, postmortems, very clear, very important, etc. Third.life, now they core a tree, So security ratings. Why you need security ratings? Because you can understand who is concentrated on the security, how and what they implemented. This is also helps you to understand if company will respond you faster or slower or etc. You will understand with whom you interact. So now then you can actually go to bug bounty platform and say, hey, I don't want to submit report to this program because they not care about security, or I want to submit because I do believe they have more issue. So for you, it's give you extra understanding. Chain analysis, lots of crypto crime reports. There you will understand domain more clear. Bug bounty radar, lots of similar resources, but it's one of most famous. You can check what changed and etc. Same, there is a Telegram bot which is Web3 bug bounty alerts. They even updated recently and specify who delete some targets, who add, who run. Very nice approach. Daily Warden. You can check. There are also a few more resources like Virgil Seek and Daily Warden, where you can actually track new audits contests, which I mentioned. It's also very nice way for newcomers to start bug hunting. Follow Hacken Proof on Twitter and the programs. Lots of tips, new programs, alerts, and etc. Cryptocurrency news and discussions. It's about actually Reddit. Okay, I made a mistake and didn't specify this Reddit, but it's about Reddit. But there are always something interesting where you can read and understand what is happening in the market. And of course, Hack and Proof has YouTube. Lots of insights from leading bug hunters who actually didn't come to industry as a bug hunter, and they started their own way. It's also for you a resource have to find your own way. So first of all, thank you everyone. I do believe each of you can actually come and find your domain niche, become a bug hunter. We will support you, and I support you as well. And if you need anything from us, don't hesitate to find us in Discord, in Telegram, in social media, and write and ask. I wish everyone a good day. Thanks.